So I want to share something with you that will mess up your brains. Africa is not developing because if African leaders fix the problems, their function will not be relevant. So you must keep problems so that you use the problems to campaign. You cannot solve the problems. Because if you solve everything, then there's nothing to campaign for. There must be no water. There must be no roads. There must be no this, so that in the next election say, we are going to bring you roads. We are going to. And then the last time you hear them talk about we are going to. Immediately after that, they disappear into oblivion until the next 5 years again. I'm not here to give you a political conversation. I think there are more able people who are in the room. And by the way, thank you and welcome and greetings to all the dignitaries that are in the house. I want to take you upon your word. Another way of making this happen. You see, the various ways of making change. There is negotiations, which I think you're doing a good job in that direction. There's intergovernmental conversations, well done on that also. There is a campaigning, various platforms, well done. But from where I'm coming from, a revolutionary side, there's another side also. I'll give you two methods that will work very fast. Number one, as African Union can make a declaration that let every African ban their passport immediately. We can make, South Africa did it. That's how South Africa was liberated. They just set up a day to ban all the ID cards. They made a big fire and they threw the ID cards right there. The following day, the government had to think of a new way of dealing with people that are ID-less. So we can ban all our passports from this conference and go back to the airport. And I want to see what the Zambian government will do with the bunch of people that no longer have passports. Because that's the problem. We're being patient and it's 6 years later. And there's no movement. So we can either ban the passports and we simply declare ourselves non-country citizens, but African citizens. Method number two will be to identify all the people that are more passionate towards the agenda and make the passports available to us immediately. And let us start testing the water. We have two passports, I have my African passport and I'll show them my African passport. If they agree, hallelujah. If they refuse, then I can pull out the one that they want. So we can begin to mobilize. It is a lesson. There must be a pressure point somewhere where they must know that these things are not there. They're not there. This thing of putting dates, we always have 2025, 2030, 2063, and when we get there, they move the goalposts. So some of us are particularly tired. I travel quite extensively. I think I've finished more than 5 passports so far, and half of those pages are visas, even to African countries. And I think it's high time. We will not leave this legacy of poverty and borders to our children. Before I die, I will guarantee you, we will not leave this legacy of borders and people living in silos and etc. Let me show you a simple secret, which some of you may not be aware of. And I want to move into lecture, by the way, small into lecture, and I'll break the protocols of time, but I will be trying to be precise. Are you aware that China is capable of abusing Zambia? Ask me why. What's the population here? 20 million. An economy of 1.2 billion people, which is the Chinese. Which is your budget for the next 35 years? That country comes to 20 million people.
Recording in progress.
With a budget which can take you 35 to 40 years to accomplish. Is that relationship normal? There's nothing you can do. They will overpower you at entrance. They can buy your government, they can buy your they will tell you how much is Zambia as a whole. Give us the value. I'm not joking. This is exactly what we're going through. How much is your value? Okay, it's so much money per square meter, so much money per square meter. Okay, here's your money. All Zambians jump into the Kafuego. They can afford it. But tell me, if China should come to Africa, and China with 1.2 billion people finds Africa standing on 1.9 billion people, what kind of negotiation goes between countries that are beginning to look at each other as superpowers? This is what local politics does to young Africans. You value your country so much, and you forget that in our African culture, when you have a broom, nechishola nto chairo, unozwa chairo. is the way you take grass and you bind it together so that we can sweep our houses. You know that grass you bind together? If you take one piece of grass, men will even use it as toothpicks. Very small. You can break it with the smallest fingers and clean up your teeth. But yeah, put those things together and try and break it. No, you can't. Forget it. Why? Because even the smallest and the weakest become stronger in the group. How long will it take us to tell Botswana and South Africa and Rwanda and Kenya, you may look strong as African countries. You may be patted on the back by the Europeans. Yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing very well. You're not like them. You're not like Congo. You're doing very well. You forget that even in your seeming strength, you are still weaker to the superpowers. What do you call a superpower? America is a superpower because they were able to dissolve 52 states. 52 states to make the United States of Africa. That's why that American flag that has 52 stars. Each star represents a state. But the same country that was able to consolidate 52 states is not happy to see 54 states in Africa becoming one country. Why? Because once Africa becomes one, it means one government, it means one army, it means one currency, it means one stock exchange. America can no longer come behind the doors and steal minerals in Congo. No, now you must transact on the table, pound for pound.
Recording in progress.
We will buy, you will come and buy our things using our money. See what America does? This is stupid about money. You photocopy. To photocopy money costs you 15 cents. 15 cents. The American dollar. 15 cents. To photocopy that. How much? How much? 15 cents. You come to Zambia or Zimbabwe and you want 16 tons of gold. How much is it? It's so much money. So many millions. America goes to the photocopy room. They go and photocopy papers. They come to Africa and collect resources and leave a bunch of papers. Photocopying papers. They take the mineral and they go away. When you want to buy things from their country, you cannot use your own money to buy the same pieces of rubbish which they've taken away from you. I've never understood that kind of economics. You forgive me. It doesn't make sense. If you have value in my country, you come here, if you want to buy the things, you buy them in my currency. Buy them in my currency. So we can level the ground in terms of transactions. We will not be able to talk about borderless Africa if we are not also honest to talk about one currency in Africa. Because voila, we all have one passport in Africa. But now you need 54 currencies. When you get to Zambia, where are the punches? When you get to Botswana, where are the pullers? When you go to Zimbabwe, where is the seed? When you go to Mozambique, where are the medications? So you tell me now you need 2, 3, 4 bags of money to walk around Africa. So the passport concept is incomplete by itself.
Recording
it needs to have other support structures that will make sure that the traveling in the life of the African becomes seamless. Are we on the same page? I would like 7 young people to come here quickly and I will conclude. 7 young people. Nice and healthy. 1, 2, 3, 7 only. 7 only. Spaciously. Let's move to the experiment. Let's move to the end. Shall we call his name governance? Stand right here, stand right here. Don't put the light in your eyes and blind yourself with that. Let's call his name governance. What's his name? Governance. Let's move, guys. We don't have the lot of time. What's his name? Governance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you get to the 6. 7 is fine. Let's call his name governance. Yeah. Let's call his name agriculture. What's his name? Agriculture. This one is called education. What's his name? Education. This one is called business and economics. What's his name? Come on, guys. You failed matric. You failed your high school. Let's move together. Business and economics was where? What's this one? This one's sport and entertainment. What's his name? And this one, let's call him health and technology. What's his name? And this one, let's call it spirituality. For the sake of the slower learners, number 1. Number 2. Come on. Don't try to look intelligent if you can't remember. It's just not a speed, let me hear one. Number 2. Number 3. Sports and entertainment. And number 4. Business development and education and now if you're supposed to transform and if you're going to transform Africa, in the light of the borderless Africa, we need to address ourselves to these certain issues that are in the backdrop of developing the Africa that we want. And I'm glad our governance and our legal team is here already to begin to understand what kind of work does this borderless Africa in terms of one passport mean legally. What are the structures that we need to start looking at? What legal framework are we going to structure? By the way, I've put all these templates for you in a book entitled African Questions, African Solutions. And while Africa, you guys have not yet called me to come and give you the blueprint. I'm still wondering why. Because I'm writing, this is 3-4 years old. And I'm just advising for your sake. We need a governance understanding of how do we transform Africa in terms of governance. Many of our countries are stuck in the Roman Dutch law, which defines what a human being is and what a human being is not. How far do you go? That's called constitutionalism. And tell me, none of you here look like Dutch. None of you ever be Romans here. And while we are bothering ourselves with the Roman Dutch law, only the devil and his mother-in-law know. Why? We needed to find new methods of governing ourselves which do not respect the legacy of the Berlin Conference. Come on, guys. You can't tell me that 13 men, 13 white men, 13 Caucasian men, 13 spiteful, hateful, arrogant thieves sit in a room, 13 of them, and divide a continent of 1.9 billion counted Africans and 54 able-bodied, bearded men cannot undo what 13 men did. Can I talk to you guys? 13 men sit up in a conference room, smaller than this. Yeah, what must we do? Bring a pen and pencil there. So which one do you want? Take a ruler. Zing. Take a ruler. Which one and zing. Yeah, hey, no, don't come this close. There's a river there, I like it. You go around it. Zing. As my friend was saying, in some certain countries, the kitchen is one border and the bedroom is another border. Now you need a passport to go to the toilet. It will not make sense in 1,000 years that other people sitting in Europe can determine our future, harness and arrest it, and close it in the 1800s. And many educated, most educated presidents in Africa, Kagame, number 1, number 2, Tanzania, number 3, and with all these qualifications of education, you can't just see the devil that is in the house and the problem that was caused and how to fix that problem. So we need the young group of African Pan-Africanists who will apply their minds to governance issues and say how can we rewrite the governance structures of Africa so that even in the one passport narrative we can see how does this affect us in terms of our sovereignty as an African people. How does one passport help us in terms of agriculture? I leave that to you. Right now there's drought, there's what? No, it's not true. Africa is enough food for herself. The drought we're talking about is across the river. On the other side of the river, there's no problem. The problem is the border. That limits goods and food to cross the river. It must go via the immigration office and through the border posts and corruption along the way. By the time it arrives where it must be paid for, it's worth nothing. So we cannot be talking about starvation because we've never been in trouble. We need to undo the passport issues and allow the movement of goods and services, particularly in terms of food security, that agricultural products must move as free as possible. Those who want sorghum from Zimbabwe, those who want to buy millet from where, those who want fufu from Ghana, from Kenya, from Uganda, those who want chapati from where, food for Africa, we must have a buffet every night. If you want to eat like Kenya, Some of us are international people. I'm from Zimbabwe. No wife is from South Africa, Swaziland, whatever it's supposed to be. If I wake up in the morning and I say, hey, cook me something from home, she must be able to go to the market and cook what her mother taught her to cook for me while she's in another country. And if I'm living in South Africa and I wish that I want to eat like in Zimbabwe, I must say, hey, today, make me some mbare, which is the meat, bones, and put vegetables and stuff like that, and let me enjoy it. But if your borders are locked and food cannot move across, here we are, stuck with pizzas. KFCs, your right message. High fat foods. Why? Because even our diet has been colonized. Even our diet has been colonized. And borderless Africa will liberate our appetite. And by the way, the more expensive the food, the less the health. The cheaper the food, the higher the value of diet. Many of our stomachs are full of food, but empty of health. That was the use of quenching the appetite and increasing sicknesses. How can poor and Africans be? We spend all our money buying diseases into our bodies and spend our retirement money fixing the problems of diet. Health is wealth. Without good health, even the richest man is poor. A borderless Africa will guarantee for us a good fraternity, a good solution to our health problems. Are we together? Yes. Are we okay? Yes. What will it solve? Number one? Yes. And here we can go to town in terms of politics and etc. I'm just moving fast because I don't have the luxury of time. But by the time we finish up here, we must have one president. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem our leaders, everyone wants to be. Everyone, even the one who knows nothing, wants to occupy the seat. But by the way, there's no school that trains you to be a president. Sure. Being a president, if I was a president for you guys, you live in the most beautiful Africa. Ask me why. Because I don't need to do. All I need is to collect the best people in the country who know what to do. And I surround myself with a council of elders. The women sit here. The witch doctors sit here. Don't laugh. It's not witch doctor as of a noun. The white man was asking, witchcraft is this? It was a question, not a noun. So it's a craft. Write it down. The rest you ask your neighbor, what did I say? It is witchcraft, just like an aircraft. So when they found the African people doing things, the white man asked them, witchcraft is this? And you remain thinking it's a noun. Oh, it's witchcraft. It's still a question. Witchcraft. So I'll let my professors here. I'll let my agricultural specialists here. I'll let my witchcrafts here. I'll let my traditional leaders here. I'll let my engineers over there, religious leaders over there, youth over there, disabled people over there, and etc. Come around, everybody, tell me what you want to see happen. This one, get the secretary, can you please all put all these things together, allocate a budget for each one of them, and let them go. That's why in African traditions, kings never spoke. I have nothing to say. People talk and talk and talk and talk. After they finish talking, they consolidate to one person who tells me what everybody else has said. I look at him and I say, you tell them, ask them, what do they want? They talk, they talk, they talk, they talk. I take them by the hand and I say, go and implement what they want. He comes back, the mouth of the king has spoken. But I said nothing. It's simply harvesting what people want to do with themselves. But unfortunately, with this Greco-Roman idea of kingship, where a man walks around with a notepad in his hand, telling everybody what to do, and etc. We never had kings like that. These abusive, photocopied rulers who think that the traditional power, but their function is colonial. Coconut kings, brown on the outside, white on the inside. The idea of Africa is altogether colonized, a colonized governance system also. Let me leave it there. Free governance systems was on to improve our agriculture. Number three?
Education.
Education. The beautiful part. Borderless Africa will make sure that our children go to study where they can study, how they want to study, what they want to study. It's no longer an issue of Makerere University. It's no longer an issue of Cape Town University. You need a visa, you need a passport, you need immigration, you need what? A borderless Africa will actually guarantee that those who want to do agriculture, which university in Africa offers the best? Children will migrate there. Which one offers the best in mining? They will go there. So that we actually unlocking the potential of our own young people by unveiling to them a borderless Africa. We are able to unlock the educational value of our own children. Can someone hear me out there? Some of you are so intelligent. Right now you are working as mediocre. Ask me why. The quality of education you receive limited your capacity to do much more. The first time you saw a computer was when you were at work. All along you were studying a computer on paper. We have had places like that where science classes, you do science on paper. You have never seen a test tube. You must cram the paper, the test tube. And then you write and you pass, and we passed. I'm one of them. Never saw a laboratory. We did all those things abstract. We read the book and we memorized it. And we retained it. And they said you passed. But imagine if I had an opportunity of touching some of these substances and working in an environment that expanded my understanding. I don't think I would have been where I am. I would have been slightly with the Harvard and the rest of them. Was by no means am I intellectually crippled. I could completely also ask how many angels can dance in the sharpest point of the needle and do a calibration of mathematical formulas to qualify that. I'm not afraid of schooling. I'm not afraid of learning. But when you are limited with resources, particularly academic resources and tools, your dreams cannot go further than your mind can comprehend. A borderless Africa will unlock the capacity of our educational institutions and avail to our children a valuable educational program that will transform the continent. Is that with me? Number one. By the way, in my class, you will fail. I'm becoming old, so repetition is the mother of learning. Number one. Number two. Number three. Borderless education. Borderless education. Where all the education in Africa has now been consolidated into one education. We don't need to worry which university are you coming from. Huh? They all have been standardized under one educational body. Now you bring your certificate from Zambia, you want to go to function in Cape Town. No. The other subjects you didn't do, you need to top up. You come from Makerere, no. The other subjects missing because why? We don't have one common understanding of what an African education is. So even our education is colonized, we need to decolonize it and rewrite a curriculum that speaks African issues. Hello, you go to school, you memorize William Shakespeare, shame on you. You know the French Revolution, when it started, when it ended, shame on you. You know who killed Julius Caesar. You don't know who killed your king. So even, it's not just about the education program, even the decolonization, the deconstruction of the system itself, so that the quality of our education reflects more on us. Hear me when I'm excited. I would say the best form of education is that which teaches people about themselves. Know yourself, African child, then you're educated. You can't know everything about everybody else. You can't know everything about next door, and you know nothing about yourself. You graduate from university, I'm a graduate. What in science, in technician, I'm an engineer. You tell me from the time University of Zambia was established in 1911, with the Department of Engineering, you've not yet been able as a department to dig one mine. I'm not doing mathematics. Just the Department of Engineering, where the professors are, to take themselves out and scout geographically their own country called Zambia, and go there and just dig one mine. No, if you can't dig a mine, to dig a hole there for what? For a start. And while you're digging it, you sample the ground. 10 meters, and take it back to the laboratory and then make some assessment and say, this is what we have in Zambia. So we have educational institutions that are graveyards of the mind, that are photocopied rooms of mentally paraplegic patients. who leave the echelons of learning with nothing except pieces of paper that has their names in capital letters. And the best thing they can do with those certificates, I hereby apply for a job. I'm a team player. I work under pressure. I'm passionate. Agreed? 25 years later, and then the interview asks you, how many years of experience do you have? Don't ask me that question. 25 years I've been studying. When I graduate, you ask me experience. Where did you get it? Business and economics. Number 4. A borderless Africa will guarantee us brilliant business transaction platform. Again, where goods and services are able to travel where they are needed, how they are needed, by who needs them. There's no limitation to business right here. That's where all sectors of business can be activated. Because people are now free to move and transact their money. And part of the reason we want the one passport is so that we can do business. Come on, guys. You want one passport so that we can do business. It's not for tourism only. Yes, tourism is a business. But most importantly, I want to be able to start moving around and trading both goods and services and getting paid in the currency that is relevant wherever I am in Africa. So under business here, we're talking banking, we're talking insurance, transportation, logistics, paperless money, industrialization. It will not matter if the water wants to open a steel plant or a cement plant in Honolulu or Timbuktu or anywhere in Africa. He can move his money where there is need. But I can tell you right now, people who are billionaires in Africa can't move their money because of bureaucratic limitations. Even if they know there is a need over there, the government does not want them there. You must do some brown envelopes on the left and on the right, under the tables and etc. And you look at the final program and say, but all the money is finished before I even start the project. Passports are a source of corruption. Intellectually, if you're hearing what I'm saying. Because of passports, government are able to be corrupt. Because passports exclude, they don't include. You catch it? Because you don't have a passport of this country, you're automatically excluded from the activities in the country and jump into inclusion. So passports are a corrupt document that tells an African you can't do business in Africa until I recognize you with the paper that I want to recognize you with. So let's get rid of these passports so that we can have a platform where we can do our business and transact nicely. Are we together on that one? Yes. What's his name? Business and economics. And his name? Education, borderless education. What's his name? You guys are so unlucky. This thing I keep on helping on it. Come on. You give me that. I don't know what it is. Yeah, sort yourself out. Sort yourself out. We'll avoid you next time. And finally, we have governance on that end. And last but not least, his name is? Sports and Entertainment. I've never understood Africans who spend all their time watching soccer. I am Manchester United. I'm Arsenal. I'm Real Madrid. I'm Nottingham, Wolverhampton. Come on, guys. In this day and age, people of Africa, even your sports are colonized. You spend money buying jerseys of Juventus and hanging on homes with pictures and color, buy TVs and pay DSTV just to watch some 22 tired people who badly need rest, being watched by 35 million people who badly need exercise. Some homes have broken because men are in sports. Stuff like that. It's an addiction. So even our entertainment has been colonized. Now some of you are mathematically inclined, you enjoy this part. Base 2, which is the basis of programming. Huh? You go to the old people sitting under a tree with a tray in their hands that has holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you put 2 stones, 2 stones, 2 stones, 2 stones in each. And let the games begin. 1, there's 2. Come. Now I have 3. 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, come. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are highly intellectual, calibrated, faster than a calculator. What our forefathers used to play is entertainment. Now it's joysticks. Eating popcorn. Developing big bellies. Eating pizzas. High blood pressure at the age of 18, 16. Like really? High blood pressure. BP. None whatsoever. And we call that sporting. We needed also to unlock our African indigenous sports.
Definitely.
Inter-village sports. Inter-cultural sports.
Yeah.
And this for me is entertainment. It's not just entertainment. When it enters you, it entertains you.
After all, we have the best music in Africa.
Sport and entertainment, yes. Our musicians must be able to walk around the whole continent, celebrating, dancing, sharing ideas, playing together, dancing together, doing things together, and not be afraid of being limited by a piece of paper to go and practice and enjoy another culture. I know some of you here, you may want to look at Zambia as much as you want, but your grandmothers and grandfathers are Zimbabweans. Hello? Hello? Say hello, say hello. Yes, there's this madness that occupies people when they see that passport. To think that, oh, we are better than them because Zimbabwe was struggling. Now no one wants to identify with it. You become a hypocrite. Now it's doing well. What are you going to do now? You're going to change again and say, oh, I'm going to Zimbabwe now. No, don't need to. Without bad borders, every culture, every child who is here, whose grandparents are across the river there, must be able to walk across the Zambezi River and go and visit home and do cultural exchange there. How about that? You must be able to go for Christmases there. You must be able to drive there for weddings and funerals. And don't worry about passports. What am I going to say at the border? No, I don't have the passport. It is expired. It is, no, we don't need limitations. Remove these borders and allow people to do cultural exchange, entertainment exchange, and sports exchange. Are we on the same page? Yes. I'm really trying to converse with this one passport thing, isn't it? Is it making sense? Yes. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, health and technology. Medicines. People have died prematurely because of passport issues. They can't move from there to there to get medical treatment. Medical treatment. And we still think that a passport is a glorious thing to have. It has people in the graveyard who could not qualify to get attention over there because of lack of passport and immigration issues. This is now another level of education where information, medicines should be able to move across the continent and assist each other. And removing these bureaucracies will assist us into driving a more united continent that can give us a better health for all. Sharing health, sharing hospitals, sharing skills, sharing staff beyond the borders of our own country. You can find help from other places. Is that fine? And lastly, as I'm concluding, spirituality. Are we okay? Are we alright? Yes. How does the borderless Africa help? Now we are in the climax of it all. I'm tired, particularly in my old age now, of these imported gods who have failed in their own country, could not give people food and money in their own countries. And these gods then ship their own people to other people's countries and to come and torture us there. I think it's high time Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, all of them must take their bags and go back where they came from. I'm sorry, you need to take time to process that. Africa cannot import food, medicines, and even gods. Because apparently Africa does not know about. There's a God who puts on a tie and a jacket and sings. Dun, 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 dun. Amen. Amen. And we've imported this colonial way of religion. And we are so religious, for me carefully, we are so religious and we have become so wicked. So religious, but so wicked. The divorce rate in Zambia right now is sitting at 65 to 70%. Christianity is at 80%. 5% difference. The more Christian we become, the less valuable our marriages are. Your pair of shoes is more expensive than divorcing your wife. The morality of a nation has been imported to us. How can we practice a universal African spirituality? A borderless Africa would allow us to create our own shrines. The Tongas go where the Tongas don't go. The Karangas go to Jelele where you know you go. People are spending money to go to Mecca, to go to Jerusalem, to go to Rome, to go and find them for God over there. As if where they're coming from, there's no God. Religious tourism. People are looking for spirituality. And the book of Acts says, it is me, I, God, chapter 17, who placed all of you on the faces of the earth, so that all of you may look for him, though I'm not far away from any one of you. So there's no need to look for you over there. He is right here, where you are. A borderless Africa allows us to begin to explore our spiritual vortexes and understand our history as Africans. Where do we come from? We start off in Tanganyika. Let's all do a pilgrimage to Tanganyika, to the great Guru of Temple. Let's see how the nations of Africa from two started moving to the north, to the east, and to the south. So that the Banda, who is in Zambia, is the same as the Sibanda, who is in Zimbabwe, who is the same as the Kaum, who is in South Africa, the same as in Ngonyama, who is in Port Elsa, is the same as in Zambia, who is in Swaziland. What's the difference of a pig in Malawi, a Shoko in Zimbabwe, and Benin in Lesotho, a cow in Botswana, and Kima in Uganda? These are the monkey tribes. How can we say we have an identity when our identity is locked to a colonial knowledge system? When we remove the borders, we will be able to trace our genesis as a nation and move beyond the boundaries of colonial information. We are two, Bantu, Umuntu, Gabantu. And we find our two, that which connects us together. And the Europeans are not Bantu. Therefore they don't have Ubuntu. And therefore they are not Ubuntu. Because for you to be a Ubuntu, you must have the humanness, the love and compassion for other human beings. Never understood a nation that will wake up in the morning to create guns and bombs and make an occupation of killing other people. The whole country. White people in blue jackets and red ties. They look so educated, speaking lots of English. They go to work to go and manufacture weapons. Weapons. For what? To go and kill. Who? To go and kill in Iraq. Go and kill in Afghanistan. In Vietnam. Go and kill. And you call them human beings? No, I don't think humanity is anywhere close to their ears. Even if they try to be human, they can't. Because they don't have the mood. It's the Umuntu, Gabantu. I am, because we are. The borderless Africa introduces us to our collective spirituality, which gives us that identity. We can't be taught by our children. Egypt was here. Zimbabwe was here. The Tongas were here. Mzalelana were here. 40, 20, 30,000 years ago. We allow some Christian people from 6,000 years ago to come and tell us about the history of where we come from as a people. Being taught by children. Yesterday's children. Yet our history looks the way they are and tells them we are much older than the Western civilization. When we open up our borders, you'll be able to come face to face with your history and learn, find out exactly who you are. I'll take the last three. That piece represents the past. What is it? This one represents the present. What is it? And this one represents the future. What was it like in the past? What is it like in the present? What will it be like in the future? So the stick that I'm holding in my hand actually represents the total summary of what I've said. And I would suggest all of you when you go home, please design for yourself a beautiful walking stick. Because when you have a passport, you must start traveling. And when you start traveling, you will need a companion, and a companion of knowledge. So hear me in my moment of genius for a little while as I'm concluding. Understand time, where you come from. Know where you are. Understand where you're going. Benchmark your thinking. How are they doing it in the West? How are they doing it in the North? How are they doing it in the East? And how are they doing it in the South? You get it? That's your compass in terms of your thinking. And while you're processing that idea, then you come back again to consolidate all this and say, this represents my governance. This represents agriculture. This represents education. This and this sports and entertainment. And this and this. So there I am, carrying my stick in my hand, which carries the entire knowledge system that I put. I call this a thinking tool. So you ask me any question, I have 7 other questions I will ask you back. Can I extend that further for the high students? You ask me one question, I will ask you the same question 7 times. Why do we need a passport? Then I ask you the first question. What are the legal challenges of this passport? What are the agricultural implications of this passport? What kind of education do we need for this passport? What kind of business? What kind of education? What kind of entertainment? What kind of this? And what was happening in the past? What is happening in the present? What happening in the future? Those are the first 10 questions. And if I want to be more smarter, then I take the 7 interrogatives. What, where, when, who, why, which. And I ask one question 7 times. What was happening in the past? Who was doing it? Why did they do it? When did they do it? And etc. So when you look at the passport, who made the passport? Why did they make the passport? For who was the passport made? Who is benefiting from the passport? 7 times, answer me in the past. For us with the passport today, what were the activities of history that delivered the passport? I come to the present tense, why do we need passports now? Who is benefiting from them? And why? And in the future, that we are talking about the global village, are we going to need passports? And how can we use today to prepare for the tomorrow of the global village we are talking about? Does that make sense? So while we are processing and you see an old man carrying a stick, he is simply asking, where am I coming from? Where am I? And where am I going? I look forward to a new Africa, which is borderless, passportless. One passport, one president, one currency, one stock exchange, one educational structure, one governance system. 2, that's one Africa. I call all of you and I challenge you. Harambe, Hujamma! Thank you.